Good evening. It is July 29th, and we are here tonight for a public information meeting. I am Councillor Meisner, and we are here tonight with Will Robertson Mushkat, who is the planner on the file that we are meeting about. We are here for a planning application for a land use bylaw text amendment to permit a one-unit dwelling as an accessory use for the residence of the owner or operator of a golf course within the commercial recreation P1 zone, 2075 Lakewood Road, Centerville. The applicant is Osborne Ward, and he is the East Crest Golf Course, file number 21-12. We have an online public information meeting, and there's a 30-day comment period in regard to this meeting this evening. And now we will go to Mr. Mushkat Robertson Mushkat for a presentation.
Thank you very much, Councillor. I will share my screen for the presentation. So as mentioned, this is a public information meeting for a land use bylaw text amendment. The planning application is for the Eagle Crest Golf Course located at 2075 Lakewood Road in Centerville, file 21-12. The purpose of the meeting is as follows. It is to inform the public of the application. It is to explain the planning policies that enable this application to occur, and it is to receive preliminary feedback from members of the public. Please note, no opinions have been formed on this application. The background on the proposal. The background is that the purpose of the commercial recreation zone, P1, is to allow the development of commercial recreation facilities such as golf courses, campgrounds, and other similar uses. This application would permit a one-unit dwelling as an accessory use for the residence of the owner or operator of the golf course. The applicant is located at 2075 Lakewood Road in Centerville, and if approved, the amendment would be general and be applied across the municipality, not just to the applicant. This is a map of the municipality of the County of Kings, and you'll note the red circle in the community of Centerville, which is the approximate location of the golf course within the municipality. This is a air photo map, of the subject properties. So there are a total of 7 properties which make up the Eagle Crest Golf Course. And the total area is approximately 128 acres. You'll note that they stretch from the southern point at Lakewood Road up to Sherman Belcher and Saxon Street. And the parcels are somewhat irregularly shaped owing to the nature of the land assembly and the design of the golf course. This is a photograph, an air photograph close-up of the portion of the golf course, the single property that is located at the southeast end of the golf course. And this is the subject property where the proposed one-unit dwelling would be situated. So this is the driveway to the golf course from Lakewood Road. You can see it travels up from Lakewood to the main clubhouse, and the benefit of this particular site for the one-unit dwelling would that it provides the owner and operator a survey of the driveway and the clubhouse and main points of activity on the subject property. This is a future land use designation map of the subject properties within the community. So you'll note that it's on the boundary of the growth center of Centerville to the northwest and located within the agricultural designation. And the P1 zone is permitted within the agricultural designation and within all designations actually found in the municipal planning documents. This is a zoning map of the subject properties and the surrounding area. So you'll note that the subject property is zone P1, the commercial recreation zone, and the properties outside of the Centerville Growth Center are zoned primarily A1 agricultural, although there is some portions that are zoned environmental constraints just to the south, southeast of the subject property, and as well an environmental sensitive overlay for portions of these properties. And then within the community of Centerville, it's primarily a residential community. So there's a mixture of residential zones, the R1, which is the residential 1-unit zone, the R3, the residential mixed density, which permits a variety of housing types and densities. And then there's a small pocket of R5, with a residential comprehensive development district located to the north of the subject property. This is a photograph of the subject property. So you'll note the driveway that is extending from Lakewood Road up to the main clubhouse. This would be the approximate location of where the proposed 1-unit dwelling would be constructed. This is a photograph looking actually directly from the driveway to the spot where that previous photograph was taken. And again, that would be kind of the approximate location for the 1-unit dwelling. This is again a photograph of that particular area taken just up from the driveway. So you'll note there's some vegetation and tree covers there. This is a photograph of the driving range located on the subject property, and the opposite side of the driveway. You can see the driveway just kind of in the background of the photograph, and a clump of trees as well. So this is looking in a southeast direction at the portion of the property where the house would be intended to be constructed. This is the clubhouse that's found on the subject property as well. So this leads from, the driveway leads up from Lakewood Road to this clubhouse, which is where golfers would tee off. And this is some of the carts and infrastructure that's found on the subject property for the use of golfers. With regard to the policy review, so the Municipal Planning Strategy 5.3 text amendments. The land use bylaw text sets out the detailed regulations for each zone, and Council recognizes that revisions may be necessary to respond to changing development issues and specific development proposals. Further, Municipal Planning Strategy Policy 5.3.2 notes that Council shall amend the text of the land use bylaw, provided the proposal meets the general criteria for amending the land use bylaw as set out in Section 5.3, Development Agreements and Amending the Land Use Bylaw. And these general criteria are as follows. MPS Policy 5.3.7, that the proposal is in keeping with the intent of the Municipal Planning Strategy, that there's no undue financial impact on the municipality as a result of the proposal, that the surrounding land uses are compatible with the proposed use, that when applicable, there is adequate school, recreation, and community facilities, also within reasonable proximity, that the application would not create undue traffic hazards or congestion, that there would be adequate fire protection, adequate sewer and water services when applicable, that there'd be no undue potential for flooding or serious drainage problems as a result of the application, that there'd be no negative impacts on well fields or other groundwater supplies as a result of the application, that pollution, including siltation of water courses, would not be caused by the application, that when applicable, there'd be no negative impacts on lake water quality or wetlands, and no negative impacts on neighboring farming operations when applicable. And finally, that the site is suitable in terms of its physical characteristics, such as grade, soils, geological condition, locations of water courses, marshes, bogs, swamps, and proximities to utility right-of-ways. So staff, when evaluating planning applications, look at this list of criteria and ensure that the application wouldn't run afoul of the particular criteria that would be affected by the planning application. Land use bylaw map amendment process is as follows. So we've received a completed application, and we're just at the start of the particular process, the online public information meeting, which will run for 30 days. It will be posted to the municipality's website, and members of the public have an opportunity to pose questions via telephone or email and provide preliminary feedback. Once the online PIM is complete, staff will complete their review and draft a report. Then the report would go to the Area Advisory Committee if necessary. The Planning Advisory Committee would follow, where they would make a recommendation to Council. First reading would then occur where a public hearing would be scheduled. Public hearing provides another opportunity for members of the public to comment on the finalized application, and properties within 500 feet would be notified of the public hearing via letter mail, and it would be advertised in the local newspaper as well as on the municipality's website and social media feeds. Public hearing is followed by second reading, where council would vote to approve or deny the application, and this is followed by a 14-day appeal period of council's decision as mandated by the Municipal Government Act. With that, I will post this slide and invite questions or comments from the public. They can contact me via telephone at 902-690-6173, email wrobinson-mushcat@countyofkings.ca, or via our website, countyofkings.ca/planning. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that presentation, Mr. Mushcat. And then as the discussion will allow members of the public an opportunity to ask the planner and also put forth any questions they may have for the applicant in terms of the proposal. When you are calling or submitting your questions or to provide comments or feedback in terms of this presentation, please provide your name and your civic address so we are able to put those together appropriately. And as we don't have any members of the public tonight, I think that wraps up our meeting. The planner is available to receive any further comments or questions for the next 30 days in regards to this proposal, and you can contact Mr. Robinson Mushcat, as he said, with the contact information that is located there at the last slide.